spiritual scientific breakdown in regarding to the Watchmen. If you can't tell, it is definitely one of my favorite shows. It's actually one season, but it's packed with so much heavy symbolism. So this one is in regarding to Adrian Beat. Okay, he represents the former, I would guess he was one of the Watchmen at one point, but he was kind of like kicked out. So he became sort of like a reclusive villain per se. In the form of, he would do things like when he would get upset, he would just make sure that he throws down squid onto Earth just to torment people. He even wanted to destroy Earth with a massive squid. But we're going to get into that at a later time. This portion, I'm going to be focusing on the White Horse Prophecy and Adrian Veidt. Okay, this is again from a spiritual perspective, and it begs the question: Is he an enlightened? Is he sort of like an enlightened ego, or more so of operating out of God complex? Okay, I want to also get into the fog of intellect that he got going on, because in the series, well, this show, he was seen reading a book called Fog Dancer, and I immediately thought, okay, this got to be some type of symbolism, because it's just symbolism everywhere in this show. It's so much to take in. But this particular book, Fog Dancer, is regarding the state of humanity, is like about having like a post-traumatic psyche. He also have somewhat of like a Luciferian type of complex going on, where he creates these beings. They do everything that he want, but it's just never enough, to the point where he's constantly disposing of them. And we're going to get further into that, because there's a foreshadowing when it comes to him reading this book, Fog Dancer. Fog Dancing, this book that Veidt was reading, was about humanity's madness, yet he never fully comprehended that he was the main fog dancer. The fog represents the veil between your soul and intellect. He seems very much emotionalist in regard to a lot of the things that he does. And with the symbolism of the white horse, this represents calamity, okay, when it comes to revelation and prophecy. So let's go ahead and get into this. All praise to the Most High, Yeshua, Jesus Christ. Thank you for blessing me with the insight to convey this message in a way that people are able to comprehend. So, Adrian Veidt, also known as Ozymandias, okay, this stands for like the archetype of a godhead sort of figure, like an enlightened ego. But to me, it screams someone that is just going off the deep end with a God complex. Okay, he does these things where it could be very beneficial, but he just tries to do a lot of destruction, to the point where even in the show, the game warden warns him, like, you can't just be out here, doing all this harm, just hunting constantly. All right, and he kind of took it as just passe. But from a spiritual science perspective, this whole thing regarding this particular character shows the lack of having empathy, okay, and how he's kind of severed from actually being a conscious being. Someone having intellect without empathy and a conscious represents definitely being more so demonic. And so Veidt's identity is built on him wanting all things to be perfect, okay, and it's sort of like he is in this fog of just his own world. Even when it comes to the particular novel that he was reading, Fog Dancing, it's so symbolic. And so within Watchmen, Fog Dancing is sort of a premonition, a very cryptic one, because this book is about soldiers who dance through like a radioactive fog after war, not understanding that they were under some level of poisoning and they were unable to discern the truth from the reality of the trauma that they were experiencing. So this is all leading into the significance of reading this book, Fog Dancing, within the show. This particular character is very locked in when it comes to him wanting to have control over everything. Like his minions or his children per se that he uses, they only want to basically meet his needs, but it's like never enough. Like he tells like the one girl, he tells her, okay, read this for me. She reads it to him, then that's not good enough. Read it in this way. It's just constantly moving the goalposts. And so this too shows he has this not only a God complex, but a Luciferian paradox going on in his mind. He's able to bring forth and create, but he does it for his sick whims. Okay. And so furthermore, when it comes to this whole White House prophecy, when it comes to the white horse prophecy, reminding us of what was written about in Revelations. Okay, Revelations writer of the white horse is a modern prophetic movement regarding destruction, famine, and ironically a lot of these things are happening at this time, but truth is emerging. A lot of the things that are perceived as a deception, they are putting it in media, kind of like breadcrumbs for us to see the truth. And so in Watchmen, Veep rides this archetypical horse, okay, representing the white horse of the apocalypse in Revelation. And this is also mirroring crisis, okay, and manipulating collective trauma rather than, actually healing from it, right? And so to these people, he's sort of like a false messiah, and he embodies the prophecy of shadow, a very Luciferian agenda. And so when it comes to this white horse symbolism, this is representing too that although he has a level of intellect, it's distorted, and it's all about control and manipulation. And just like in the novel he was reading, Fog Dancing, humanity under Veep's watch becomes not only in like a psychic type of trance, okay, they are distorted, representing the people or the so-called humanity that he was constantly destroying. So it's a lot of heavy symbolism here. And I also want to share that Adrian Veep's tragedy, just like in Fog Dancing, is similar to what we're seeing within society, where there is mass levels of destruction going on, but at the same time people are laughing, joking, and dancing all the while they are experiencing destruction. All right, another thing too I want to share regarding to the rider of the white horse is this is also a reminder to awaken to the importance of humanity, to not allow ourselves to be deceived into being able to acquire things but not genuinely taking care of those things or people per se.